There's a lake in Georgia that looks like any other. Wide, still, peaceful. On the surface, it feels calm, but beneath it, there's a town. Not a myth, not a legend, a real place, with real people, that was never meant to disappear. It was called Oscarville. And if you were standing there over 100 years ago, you wouldn't see water. You'd see life. In the early 1900s, Oscarville sat in Forsyth County, a growing black community during a time when that alone made it a target. Families owned land. They built homes from the ground up, passed property down through generations, created something rare in the Jim Crow South: stability. You'd hear children playing outside, church bells ringing on Sundays, neighbors who knew each other by name. It wasn't perfect, but it was theirs. And that was enough to make it dangerous. Because in 1912, everything changed. A white woman named Mae Crow accused black men of assault, but what followed wasn't an investigation. It wasn't justice, it was a spark that ignited something far more violent. White mobs formed almost overnight, armed, angry, unchecked. They moved through the county like a storm. Black men were dragged from their homes, beaten, lynched, left as warnings. Families were given a choice that wasn't really a choice: leave or die. And so they left, quickly, quietly, some in the middle of the night. Homes were abandoned, land left behind, entire lives just gone. Not because they wanted to go, but because staying meant death. Oscarville didn't collapse. It didn't fade over time. It was emptied, forced into silence. And then, years passed. The violence ended, but the absence remained. The land changed hands. Ownership disappeared. History began to blur until the 1950s, when a new decision was made, one that would make sure Oscarville would never come back. The U.S. government approved the creation of a reservoir, a massive project that would flood thousands of acres of land. And that land included what used to be Oscarville. As construction began, the transformation was slow, but final. Buildings were torn down, or simply left. Roads cracked and disappeared beneath rising water. Churches, homes, cemeteries, all swallowed, piece by piece. What was once a community became the bottom of Lake Lanier. And today, people come here to relax, to boat, to swim, to escape. They glide across the surface, never realizing what's beneath them. Because down there, the roads still exist. The foundations of homes still sit where they were built. And in some places, even the past feels like it hasn't fully let go. There are stories tied to this lake, unexplained incidents, uneasy feelings, moments people can't quite describe. Some call it coincidence, others a reminder. Because when a place is taken like that, when people are forced out, when history is buried instead of told, it doesn't just disappear, it lingers. And somewhere beneath the quiet waters of Lake Lanier, Oscarville is still there. Not as it once was, but not completely gone either.